Dane Gentry. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about the truth about prison in America and the justice system itself all around. I think that in so many ways, if you don't have a loved one who's been in there, which as many people that are in there, odds are you may have, or someone who's got caught up in our justice system, uh, it's not always as it seems. The living conditions. Now, I've only spent time in the Tennessee prison, but I do know people all across the United States who've been in different ones who have shared with me different things of how it is in there and all these kind of things. So I'm gonna start out tonight on giving some numbers and different things about the prison system and how it is. And uh, I think I really feel that a lot of people are going to be enlightened, excuse me, in a lot of ways uh, to how things are. First off, the first number I want to throw out there, and this I didn't know this till today actually, but every year, $80 billion of our tax money is spent on inmates, and that's combined with um, the prisons, the jails, um, county jails, everything all combined is $80 billion a year, um, and so that's a lot of money. And I don't know why that really is because um, they don't spend that much on you in there. Um, they back in the day when you would go inside, they would give you a lot of stuff like they would give you, let's say, boxers and socks and all these type of things. Well, they don't even do that anymore. If you go into jail and you in most jails and you don't have that stuff, you just don't have it, and that's kind of how it is. And that's sad, really. I mean, just think about it, $80 billion a year. Um, on average, 436 per 100,000 people are locked up somewhere, whether it be again jail or prison. Um, they say that as of 2020, anyway, or 2022, that's the latest numbers that they have out. That it's the lowest in 20 years. Um, I don't, I don't know if that's really true. Um, I don't think so. I think they keep going up because they sure keep building more prisons here in Tennessee anyway and jails. Um, they uh, in Tennessee, it was always a thing. Oh, it's overcrowded. We need to build more, um, and this, that, and the other. Um, so, 25% of the world's population, or the world prison systems, is in America. So, 25% of the whole world, we have more um, than anybody. And I'll get to why that is also here in a minute. Uh, what the situation is there and why. I think this is going to enlighten a lot of people as well. 1.2 million people are in prison in the United States, is what they say. That's a lot of people. Uh, Now, the states spend $69,355 per inmate a year, which adds up to the 80 billion. Again, I should have done some calculations on this to see, but I don't understand where all this money is going because in Tennessee they um, uh, done away with everything. The food is terrible. If you don't if you don't have money for commissary or this, that, and the other, um, then you're going to go hungry. Now, some people are going to say, well, they broke the law. They deserve to be hungry. They deserve to be fed bread and water and all these types of things. What about the people that are innocent? What about the people that didn't do the crime? Do they deserve to be treated that way too? Of course not. So, you can't do that. Um, One of the biggest things is the turnaround rate on people when they get out. They pretty much know you're going to go back because that's kind of how it is. And the reason that is because there's no programs or nothing in there for you. Um, yes, they have money. The federal government gives them money for these programs, all this, that, and other, but they don't do them. Either the teacher don't show up, or you take somebody who has a life sentence. I mean, it's kind of hard to force them to do a lot of things. So forcing them to go to a program and these different things is it's a little difficult. But you can take the younger people who come in, who have the 4s, the 5s, and 6 year sentences, who are trying to go home, maybe even 20 years. I would say also. Um, and so, um, by all studies from these world renowned doctors, psychologists, and all these things, um, they say that incarceration is ineffective. The only thing it is, it's harmful to the offenders, their family, and the law enforcement. Um, without proper counseling um, and assimilation back into their communities. Again, we do not have any of those programs. Not in Tennessee. I was in there for a long time, and again, like if the most places that have the programs and stuff is for um, um, like gang members. Hey Nick, um, they they have like these different programs called um, the uh, the gang unit they have in there. They have like anger management, um, drug class. I can't remember all the names of them, but again, you can take and go to the first one, sign your name. You never have to go back to another one till the end, and you'll get graduated for the class. That's kind of how it works in there. Nothing is structured. Again, I'm only speaking of Tennessee. Um, so let's look at New Hampshire, Vermont, Minnesota, Rhode Island, Maine, and Massachusetts are the lowest rates of the prison population. Texas has the highest. I knew that kind of. In California, and Florida, and Georgia, and then Ohio, Pennsylvania, Arizona, New York, Michigan, Virginia, pretty much the same, give or take 1,000 or 2,000 here or there. Now, it's all about money. Now is what it's all about. Um, Prison has become the new cattle in the United States. There is 4,127 companies that do nothing but supply things for the prison system. And these things I'm talking about is your package stuff, like you're going to get like shoes, your underwear, socks, all these things, commissary, TVs, radios. I'm not even going to say the names of the companies because I don't want them to get any kind of plugs, but that's how you get everything. It used to be different. When I first went in Tennessee, your family sent you everything. They could go to Walmart or wherever it was. It had to be mailed from the store. But so now, let's just say your family paid $60 for a pair of shoes. That same pair of shoes is going to cost you about 150 now because of the markup rate that these companies put in. Um, and so that's kind of how it works. And let's see, I got some more numbers for you here. Let me find them. What do I do with them? Um, let's see.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, how you doing, Bella?
Hey, how are you?
All right, so it says black males are 5.8 times greater in the population than whites. Black females is 1.8 times greater than white females. Okay, so someone said that they think that prisons should go back to hard labor and bread and water, and that they should be shackled to each other and all these things. Now, let me say this: if you commit a crime, you deserve to be punished for it. I'm not one of them people. I believe in that wholeheartedly. If you're a child molester and a rapist, the only thing money they should spend on you is a
Hmm.
cross and bullet. You should never go to prison. Um, but murders and different things nowadays. There's so many people that are going in who are innocent. I'm going to have a guy on the show Wednesday night who did 31 years, and he did not commit the crime. So those things you have to take into consideration too. And what should happen there if it's found out that DAs and all these people are in on it, the cops, and they wrongfully convict somebody, and they
Dean,
know
I
they did
can't.
it.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Well, someone has there's something on in the background.
I, I can't hear anything. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, it's
Hello, can everybody hear me?
turn down your radio.
Alicia, do you mind turning down the background noise so we can hear Dane?
I don't have nothing in the background going on.
Oh, hi, Alicia. I don't know. I can't hear Dane.
Can everybody else hear me?
I can
I'm
hear
going to
you.
mute so I can.
Hey, Nick, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Crash said she can hear me. Okay, good. Um,
Can you hear me?
I forgot where I was at. What was I talking about? I went blank.
You were giving us the numbers.
Oh, about wrongfully committing. So, since they brought in this DNA evidence, there's been 470 people who have been. Oh, I know what I was saying. I'm saying if the DAs and all that are involved in it, and they wrongfully convict someone, and they know they did it, when it's found out, they should have to go to prison. That's just how it should be. But it's not that way. You know, many times I've seen many people really out of Memphis was most of them, but they would have a murder charge and they'd have a 6 year sentence, 8 year sentence, and I'm sitting here with all this time and I didn't kill nobody. Um, damn sure didn't rape nobody and damn sure didn't rape no kid. So, these things, our justice system is so flawed because it's just like everything else in this country. It's all about money. If you got the money to buy a lawyer, I don't care what your crime is. You're going to less time than this drug addict over here who shoplifted from a store. Crime is crime and it's wrong. I get it, but at the same time, it needs to be even across the board. There needs to be something said. If you kill somebody, outrightly kill somebody, not if if somebody's trying to kill you and you kill them, they deserve to die, in my opinion. But if someone just outrightly kills somebody because they robbed them, this, that, and the other, um, it should just be over. There shouldn't be. There should be a set thing on it, life without or death penalty or whatever it is. I know I'm gonna get some flack on that. There's a lot of people who don't believe in the death penalty. You know, if someone raped and murdered your child, um,
They would look at it
I
different.
don't see how anybody could
Mm-hmm.
be against that and
Mm-hmm.
say, this shouldn't happen to them. They should be tortured, man. I mean, it's a child. If you rape a child, you damn sure shouldn't be protected and all the things that go on in this prison. You should go to Gen Pop and get what you got coming to you. Um, and that's how it ought to be.
Yes.
I don't know if everyone agrees or anyone
Yes, I
disagree, but
agree. I do agree under pedophilia as well, definitely.
yeah, rapists
Right?
and all that. I mean, come on,
Hmm.
man. You're ruining this.
Pedophilia is really bad as well.
Yes.
Hmm.
Um, I've met a lot of people, men and women, who it happened to as a child, and it had detrimental effects on their life, their whole life. Um, so many different things it causes, and hey, God knows. And it's sad. It's really sad that one, they protect them. Your loved one's in there. Let's just say you have a loved one in there who committed burglary. That's wrong. Don't get me wrong. You're wrong when you break into someone's house. It is wrong, and you deserve to be punished for it. But I'd be damned if you should do more time than if somebody raped a kid.
Hmm.
Um, and that's what it is. And so we hear people all the time saying, "Oh man, we need to reduce the prison population." They're not never going to do that. The reason is because it would what it would do to the U.S. economy. That's what people don't understand. That's what it's all about. Those 4,000 businesses um, bring so much to the U.S. economy. It's all by design. It's not a mistake. I mean, they knew what they were doing. It's you know the state of Florida. I may be wrong about this, but if I think I'm correct, in every county in the state of Florida, there's either a state jail, which is like 2 years and less, or a prison in every county. Think about that. I mean, come on. Now, Florida has some harsh rules and all that stuff, and they got a lot going on down there. But come on, every county. Bella, how is it in Canada? The
Good.
jails and
I
prisons.
was just actually thinking about all this as you're talking. So we have the closest correctional service we have, don't quote me on this, is Pentagishin. That's the closest one that I know. That's where they put like the real criminals, because I'm in Ontario. Then we have correctional services for younger kids who cannot or not of age to go to jail. But just today, while you're touching on that on the news, there was a mom who murdered her disabled child on our news, was found um, guilty, and now they redid the trial and she was found not guilty.
Hmm.
So I don't understand how the system here works.
Here's
Uh, it doesn't make sense to me that she was retried and found not guilty because the child was disabled and she said she wasn't capable of taking care of her child.
here's the thing. So many people think that because you may have a TV or a radio in prison that you're living too good in there. You have it too easy. People forget about so many other things. Number one is in Tennessee, on an average compound, it's about 1,500 inmates. Some of them have 2,000 to 2,200. And each unit that you live in is 264 people in them on average, unless you're on max or something like that. But so you got 264 criminals all in one area now, and most of them nowadays have 40, 50 years or a life sentence. So they have nothing to lose. These are 18, 20-year-old kids coming here and have nothing to lose. All right. So you take someone like me, the first sentence I had was 12 years. That's the first one I had. Uh, Now, this person over here who's got 40 or 50 years comes try to kill you. What are you going to do about it? You're going to kill them. Tennessee does not have a self defense law, which means that even if someone's trying to kill you and you kill them, they can still charge you for manslaughter. So
Uh,
um, that's that's sad. Really, it doesn't happen a lot in there. It depends. It really depends on who gets killed. If it's someone who has family or whatever, there's going to be a lot of pushback on it. So you're more apt to get charged, which is, I mean, that's still wrong. A human life is a human life. But that's just how it is. But so in there, yes, you have this TV set. Number one, you're still away from your family. Number two, you still are watching your kids grow up in pictures. Again, you broke the law. I understand that. You should have to pay for it, but the punishment should fit the crime also, and it does not. And then you have to. This is really sad but true. You have to eat, use the bathroom, take a shower. Everywhere you go, you have to have a knife. Why? Because you're in danger every step of every day, depending on what compound you're on. If you're at a minimum security camp, you don't have to worry about that stuff so much. But somebody like me, I never got to go to them but one time, and I never got to go back to another minimum security camp. I was either at medium or max or close. So that's how it is. You have to have people escort you to the shower because that's when you're at your most vulnerable time. Um, People have to walk you on the compound, especially if you're somebody. So take all these things into account. A very violent, 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 dark world.
So you,
mhm,
Nothing is easy about it.
mhm.
That's the main point I want to get at. If
so
anyone
Dane,
tells you that prison is easy, they need to be on some freaking medication, um, because it's not. And
hey
then you
Dane.
say, well, if it's so bad, why do people keep going back? The main reason is drugs. Um, it's mostly drug offenders that re-enter, whether it be for selling drugs or doing them. One of the two. And unless I just called in, it don't show them up here.
Oh, sometimes you see the little red button on your,
Yeah, I
you,
received it. Hey,
or you can invite them.
JGRB,
You
you
can,
can come back up.
yeah,
Yeah, I accepted it,
you
huh?
can also invite them as a speaker if you want. You can just
Oh, I
click on their
can.
head, yeah, and invite
Mm,
as a speaker, and they'll come
I
up.
see it. Yeah, they tried
Yeah,
to call in. Maybe it's an accident. Maybe they didn't mean to.
yeah.
But there you go. It's
Okay.
the invite if you did.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you. I'm learning to navigate this all on my own here.
Oh yeah, no
hey
worries.
Dane,
Trying to find. I lost my notes here. I had some notes I wanted to read.
hey Dane,
There we go.
Dane.
Huh?
When you
Nick's
said
trying to call you.
Hey, Nick.
when you said you had to have people walk you to the shower, who
Uh
were
huh.
these people?
Okay. For me, I told everyone, and I used to be a gang member. That's not a secret. And I was a very high ranking one. So there's a target on your back. You know what I mean? So the people that walk you to the shower are your other people that's in your organization. I wasn't in what's called a gang. It's really what's called an organization. But how it happens is that you have, depending if you're on the top walk, you have three people actually take you. Two will take you to the steps. One will walk you behind you, and there'll be someone at the bottom waiting on you. But it goes like this: um, you as you get ready to go, whoever it is that's outside your cell that's going to escort you, they holler out shower. And that means everybody clear out of the way. If you don't clear out of the way, there's going to be a problem because that's a threat. You see what I'm saying? And then
Okay.
you always have the knuckleheads who don't pay attention, and always every time end up in some shit because they're not paying attention. Because if you come out that door or whatever, something's going to happen to you because that's their job. It's like security. And then while you're in the shower, there's two people that stand outside that shower as well, and these two people will have knives on them, and you'll have a knife with you too inside the shower. It's a very, very violent world, man. And these things I'm saying right now, I never told my family. I never told people this because I'm a man. I didn't want to call home and say, "Man, I got to eat shit and sleep with a knife." You know what I mean? There's already enough worry going on. So a lot of people don't know these things because, again, if you're a man, you're not going to tell your family that. I'm not going to tell someone who loves me and make them worry more. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So that gives people a false sense of how it is in there. Um, and it's just when I hear someone say stuff like that at first, I should be better and I shouldn't let it get underneath my skin like that. But I do, and I did, but I prayed about it and I became okay about it because I understand we really don't know. But I get it too. If you have a loved one who was raped or murdered or something, I would want that person to have to do the hardest time they could do too. I would. I promise you, I would. Um, but at the same time, you got to remember, man. There's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Some fire alarm. There's a lot of people in there who have done just the smallest of things, man. You know what I mean? There's a lot of kids in there who just made this mistake, man, and so we have to remember all that. Everybody is not in there for murder and rape and child molestation. Um, I would say it'd probably be about 60% to 40 nonviolent to violent crime offenders in each unit or compound, depending again where you're at. So we have to remember all that. Um, and someone said feed them bread and water. Well, even if they did, I didn't. I never ate in the chow hall anyway. I always had commissary and food cooked for me, so I never ate in there really anyway. I'd go to get milk, or I would go to drop off drugs. I sold drugs while I was in there, or something like that. But um, Black Dragon says, "Nice. It's great to see a lot of new podcasters joining Podbean. I'm happy I came to
Oh,
Podbean,
hey,
Black
Black
Dragon,
Dragon.
because
I'd like to say hi to him. Yeah. Oh.
it's done nothing but help me so much. And
Hmm.
but yeah, Nick, that's what it is. It's your security. I mean, it's sad but true. And everywhere you go, they're there with you, whoever it may be. And the organization that I was in, it's the same way on the street. You always have people with you, but um, the first time I got out, I was done with it. Um, I was coming across the compound one morning at 2:30 in the morning, going to work in the kitchen, and all these other people are coming to me telling me about what this one was doing, this, that, and the other. And I said, I'm done. And you're really not supposed to be able to do that. You're supposed to be for life. But I was able to retire with honors. So, um, because I put a lot of, anything I do it to the fullest, man. And I did that to the fullest as well. And I'm not proud of that. That's one of my biggest regrets, other than missing my son's whole life. That's my biggest regret in
Oh,
life.
I bet.
Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
if I could go back and do it again, I would. I would do it differently. But of course, we don't get to do that because there's nothing we can do about the past. But uh, I've done a lot of things that I think about a lot. I call them demons. These are the demons that I had to become okay with because they drove me to make very, very bad decisions in my life. And so I had to give it to God, and I asked Him to take it, and He did, man. And that's where my faith lies in at, because I know what He'll do if we are sincere when we ask Him. Um,
Yes.
So earlier you said that the U.S. spends $88 billion a year.
80 billion
Eighty
annually,
billion.
$80 billion annually. Yes,
So
sir.
what would you say that? Because you would probably know what is the annual cost per person in prison
63,000, a little over 63,000.
is what
And
it
let's see, I
costs
got it wrote down
to
exactly, Nick.
house
It's
you.
69,355.
Why so
Now,
much?
here's what goes on in county jails. Here's what they do. When you go in a county jail, I don't care what your charge is. When you first go in there, you're medium security. Why is that? they get more money for you. The higher your security is, they get more money for you. Minimum security, of course, is the lowest. Medium is the highest. If you go to the hole, which is a regular occurrence in these county jails on the pettiest little shit you could see, they get the most money for you because you're considered a maximum security inmate. It's all money. That's what it's all about, and that's the stuff that angers me. Um, because, like I said earlier, we're the new cattle. You know, they tell you when you get off the bus in prison the first time, they give you a number and they tell you that is who you are known by now. Your name does not matter anymore. You're whatever number that you have, and that number is what you'll have the rest of your life. Um, no matter how many times you go in and out.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a cost. I'm just looking at the Canadian side. I have some info for Dane, and it costs about each Canadian $550 in taxes. We pay for the prisons in Canada, so which is nearly 5 billion for the jails and prisons. So 55% is provincial and 45% is federal because we got the provincial government 45. The worst prison here is the Kingston Penitentiary. If you Google that penitentiary, that prison, that's the worst one that we have.
Um,
Mm.
okay, here's another thing. I forgot about this part too. Also, all right. So your loved one goes into jail,
Hmm.
and of course you love them and you want to be able to help them and take care of them, this, that, and other. So they go in there, and of course you want to talk to them. You want them to be okay. Let's talk about phone calls. A local call is about $5 for 15 minutes. So that's pretty high,
Oh,
man. I
boy.
don't care who you are,
Yeah.
that's pretty high. Now let's talk about commissary. Commissary is a big thing because they don't
Hmm.
feed you. They pretty much do give you bread and water, really, but uh, the food is most of the time is pretty disgusting. I'm gonna say this real quick. Sumner County, Tennessee, is by far the worst jail I've ever seen in my life. How these people get away with what they do in there, still to this day, I do not know. I've been in a lot of jails. Unfortunately, I mean nothing to be proud of, and I'm not proud of it. But that jail, I couldn't adjust, and I was always able to. And Beth used to say, "What is wrong with you?" I'd say, "It's this jail. It's just the way the whole living conditions were just horrible." But anyway, so you want to give you're starving you in there. So anyone who thinks that they're just in there eating all good, no, you're not, man. You are starving to death if you don't have any commissary. All right, in the commissary, they have to do it electronically, of course. Go to a website, put it on. So your people are going to send you $50. They're going to take about 8 of that, so you're going to end up with 42. To fill the order, there's a processing fee of about $4. So now you got 38. And then they're going to give you another ordering fee for $2 more, so that's 36. A ramen noodle costs you $1.65, one ramen noodle plus tax. Um, they even tax stamps. How they get away with that, I don't know how they do that either. But they tax everything. So for that $38, you're going to get a bar soap's $3. Shampoo is about $5. If you wanted a pack of tuna or something like that, it's about $7. A bag of coffee is about $8. So you add all that up. Now they got these tablets and things in there in different jails, and they got games, all this stuff on them. A movie will cost you $10, but that's about what it costs you anyway, $10 for a movie. But everything is so expensive, and then like in Sumner County, when you order your commissary the first time, they make you buy a $25 bag to put your commissary in. You have no choice, whether you want this bag or not. You see what I'm saying? It's all just money racket, just a money racket, just a money racket.
Yep. We're listening.
I missed something here. I think it's my first time here. Um, yeah, it's sad. And most people don't know these things, man, because uh, I don't know how that every family really isn't touched by it. You would think that as many people in the United States that's in. I can't remember the number in Tennessee. I want to say I thought it was like 14,000. I think it's more than that. Um,
Hmm.
they
Hmm.
keep building more and more prisons here, and then now you got these prisons, CCA prisons. That is a private corporation. So in the state of Tennessee, when they let these private prisons in, what they did is we had a governor at the time. Don Sunquist was our governor when all this went on. He had stock in CCA, so that was the whole purpose of them coming here. They are by far the worst run prisons that it is. There's more murders and everything at them than anywhere else. Well, then they went from food that was pretty decent to what was called cooked chills. So the person who owned all them trucks that was taking all that food everywhere was Don Sundquist's son-in-law. You see what I'm saying? It's all a racket, every bit of it. If that don't piss you off or your family, I don't know what would, because that's what they are. They do not care about you unless you're a child molester. They care about you. Why? I have no idea, but they
Hmm.
do.
So how is it in Nick in Colorado? Because been in the states, it goes by state. How is the system there compared to Dane's?
It's very, very
Look
similar.
at
Very similar, right?
We've got
Okay.
privately owned prisons, which are
Mm-hmm.
paid, for so many beds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Are they
they've even got,
CCAs or are they called Corrections Corporation of America there too?
I don't know what name.
I'm sure they are. I think I knew at one time they someone else was trying, but I think it's probably I think they changed their name too. I think it's Corrections Corporation something else now. They did
See,
that because if you go and look it up, you'll see how many lawsuits and things have been filed on them for the
Hmm.
things that they
now
do.
the thing here in Colorado, and I'm sure they do it there, but you were saying how many jails or prisons were in Florida and one in every county. So
I
every
think
county
so.
in
If I'm
Colorado,
wrong about that, I'm not wrong by much, but at least what's called a state jail, which
right?
is for 2 years and under, which is a prison. It's a prison. And then I'm gonna look it up, Nick. I'm gonna look it up while we're here.
Well, what they do here is, of course, every sheriff department, which is in charge of each county, has their jail, but they house, I guess, what you'd call the medium or the lower uh, rated prisoners in the county jails here. So you could go to
All right.
jail for a DUI one night, and you could be sitting
Yes.
there next to someone that is serving prison time.
Yes.
Right. In Florida, there is 143 facilities statewide, including 43 major institutions, 33 work camps, 15 annexes, 20 work release centers, and 6 road prison slash forestry camps.
Mm-hmm.
So,
See, now we
how
got
many counties is
Supermax
in
here.
Florida? Let's
Mm-hmm.
see.
You've heard of Supermax, right?
Oh, I've been on it. Yeah, I know all about it.
The one in Colorado, the Supermax.
Yeah. Oh, you. I was talking about our Supermax. Yeah, I know about the one you're
Supermax.
talking about. Yeah,
Oh
it's
my.
that's
Yeah,
where El Chapo is, isn't it?
yeah. But
Oh wow. Really?
they
Mm-hmm.
they had the real bad ones here. But you're
Oh.
recorded as soon as you hit that road. I mean, it's well, I guess, secured. I don't know what you'd call it, but
They
They
call it
have
super. They call it Supermax. Why do they call it
yeah,
super? Why?
because it's just more in Tennessee. Why they're called a supermax is they
Oh.
take in the whole inside of the cell is stainless steel. You can't. There's nothing you can do inside that cell that would harm you or anyone else. Basically, is what it is. Either
Oh, I
you have
see.
either killed an inmate in a very very gruesome way, or one or two, or a guard or a staff member of some kind, or you've had multiple escape attempts. Um, but what happened is that in Tennessee, it used to be like this. Like, I don't care what you did, if you got maxed out, it's about 4 years you're going to do on max. And that's isolation, a 6x9 cell,
Hmm.
23 hours a day, weekends, 24 hours a day. If you don't have a shower in your cell, and there's only some of them that do, you get 3 showers a week. And they take everything away from you. When I first went to max the first time in 1999, and then you still wore like they have blue clothes, right? Like blue pants and a blue shirt. That's
Right.
general population in Tennessee.
Hmm.
And as I was in there, everything changed. They took them away, put us in white uniforms, and every time you left the cell, you used to have to be handcuffed. Now you have to be handcuffed and shackled. You can only have clear soap. You can't have a radio. I mean, just all these different things. But someone in Massachusetts, a psychologist or whatever, made this report and study that said after 18 months, you have mental changes as a human after 18 months of isolation. So they
Right.
come through it, right?
Hmm.
So they come through and changed it. But of course, Tennessee found ways around that. So anything you do, they call it a program now. They don't call it
Hmm.
maximum
Hmm.
security. See what I'm saying? But you're
Hmm.
still in there the same amount of time.
I had a thought, but it came off my mind, rolling off of what Dane's saying. I totally forgot. Um, Very similar. So Tennessee, Colorado, pretty much the same all across the United States. It's pretty similar. Jail being not prison, obviously. Jail is not prison, correct?
No, it's not. I
Eh,
would rather be in. I would rather be in prison than jail.
Oh, really?
Why is
Hmm.
that?
Yeah.
Why?
There's more to do, and there's a little bit more freedom and things like that. If you, if you, okay, there's unfortunately, I was what's called a convict. There's a difference in an inmate and a convict. It's all about how you do time. But in county jails, most county jails is hard time, as they call it, because nowadays they keep you locked down all the time, pretty much. You know what I mean? And again, the
Hmm.
food is horrible in there. And then in prison, you pretty much pay regular prices for your commissary. Like ramen noodles are a big thing, and they're last time I was in, they were $27 or 27 cents a piece. Okay, so and
Hmm.
no tax. So things like that as well. So if you don't have a lot of money or your family don't have a lot of money, um, $20 a week in prison, you can eat pretty well. You know what I mean? You can survive because what happened in Tennessee is they took a contract with Aramark. Aramark is any stadium you go to, that's who does the concessions. Any of these race, anywhere you go.
Right.
Well, they sold it as fresh food. It's going to be fresh cooked food, fresh made food. Um, and so um, it turned out to be very, very horrible, pretty much unedible. But what are you going to do if you don't have any money? Now, again, some people say, "Well, that's what they deserve." Well, think about yourself there, and nobody in this world is innocent, and you could be wrongly convicted of something and go in there, and you don't want to live that way. But again, it's kind of a catch-22 because in my mind, these child molestation stuff should be treated horribly. So it's kind of a catch-22, really.
Yes. The
Somebody,
I don't know how it is, but I I can't speak like clearly and like truthfully because I really like to go by facts.
hmm
But here, what I heard on the news today was not good. Of I don't know how you could be tried twice for killing a child,
no,
whether the child was disabled, and it's come up a lot in my circle of the people, like that I know professionally, that parents who have disabled kids are the rate of divorce with those parents are higher because
yeah,
they just can't deal with the kids, and so they end up separating.
right,
So this mother, I guess I will have to look into the case. Her justification was that she couldn't deal with this child, whether the child is autistic or highly autistic, but they can get pretty aggressive as well, as I
hmm
know. How could you be tried twice for something
well,
like that and then be found not guilty on the second try?
Did she
there
have money?
A good
money.
question. Good
It,
question.
it's a very good question. Um, New evidence comes into play somewhere, or again, unfortunately, in this country, these cops and stuff, they want a conviction so bad, they wrongly convict a lot of people. There's a lot of people in there, and that I know personally who did not do the crime and have overwhelming evidence that they didn't, but they don't have any money to get back in court. And then
Hmm.
did y'all see that the Peterson guy is getting a new trial? Trying to get him a new trial. The Innocent Project has took his case. Um,
Really?
the guy in California, Lacey Peterson. I
Yeah.
can't remember his name now.
Oh,
Yes,
His name,
I know
yes.
who
yeah,
you're talking about.
Lacey and the baby. They're saying that now the Innocent Project usually it's like free to you, um, and usually the people are innocent that they go to. Scott Peterson, that's his name.
Yes.
Um, that they go to and help, and so everybody's kind of going, "Wow, what is this all about?" And they're saying there's overwhelming evidence that he did not do it. So that's really what it is. Or like, say during trial, your lawyer doesn't do his job. He doesn't suppress something, or he doesn't file a motion for whatever, this, that, and the other. Inadequate counsel, they call that. You can get a new trial on that. There's just different things that you can do to get it. So she got a new trial. I don't know the case myself. I don't know what went on, but somewhere there must have been some evidence that was showing that she was innocent.
Hmm.
I mean, whether she was or not, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the case, but that stuff happens a lot.
Yes, yes.
Like I said, I'll tell it briefly. So everybody tune in Wednesday night at 8. There's going to be a guy. His name is Robert. He's going to be on here with me. He had lived a pretty much sheltered life his whole life. His parents, mother. I don't think his dad was around, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was just him and his sister, but he lived pretty much a sheltered life. And he was 17 years old and had been working, I want to say landscaping. And anyway, these other two guys talked him into going out with him. I'll fill everybody on the rest of it. But anyway, the crime he got convicted of, he did not do. And the two people with him said he did not do it, and he still got a life sentence with the possibility of parole. Back when he got it, you could get parole on a life sentence. I think after 25 years. Now it's 51, but back then I think it was 25. So after 31 years, they made him see a psych doctor and see if the doctor would say he's okay. The doctor did, and they gave him parole. This has been September of 2021 is when he got out. This man is doing amazing. He is one of the best people that I've ever met in my life. And think about that. You just did 31 years of your life. He had never even had a girlfriend. He never had sex, any of these things. Um, Not to be ugly, but he said he never even seen a woman naked. So um, think about that. And he is the biggest Christian that I've ever met, and people are going to be surprised by this man and how he talks. And I'm excited for it because when I first started on this thing with the podcast, he was the
Hmm.
first person that came to my mind that I wanted
Hmm.
to get on here and interview. Because in the beginning, I had it. I wanted to interview people who have overcome ungodly things and still made it in life. And so I thought about him, and he's a real good friend of mine. And he hasn't gone back. He hasn't been in any trouble, any of that. And you think, why? He's not on drugs. He's not. He don't sell drugs. He's not on them. So the chance of him going back are slim to none. He
Yes.
he married a woman in England, and I talked to him last night, and I said, "How's the marriage going?" He said, "Oh well." And I said, "Oh well, I'm sorry I brought that up." He's like, "No, I just miss her, man. She's in England right now." I was like, "Oh okay, that's good. And things are still good there." He's just an awesome, awesome guy. And I want everybody to meet him and hear his story, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, that would be
You're
nice.
doing that Wednesday?
Hmm.
A Wednesday night, yes, sir. Right
Okay.
now it's going to be 8 o'clock. I don't know if my times are going to change right now or yet. I'm trying to see. Like I kind of want to be
Hmm.
on when everybody else isn't and things like that, so I can get people on here. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Good time you picked tonight. It's a good prime time. Yeah,
Yeah.
you picked, so I think it's good. It's 9 because then it'll be California, what, 7? 7 p.m. for the
hmm
California people. So I
No,
think that's
it would be
7.
6 in California, I think.
Um, my time, it's 2 hours behind me. So I'm 1 hour ahead of you, right, Dane? Yeah,
hmm
yeah, yeah. I think it's a good time. I mean, it's a good quarter. It's a good time.
Yeah. Um, Either way, I figured so. I haven't even looked to see who else was on and these kind of things. But I was trying to look
Mm-hmm.
at all the numbers on
Mm-hmm.
the Colorado must be pretty low, Nick, on their prison population. I can't find them.
I thought he was talking about his download numbers. I was
Oh no,
like,
they're
Nick,
my download numbers are
Nick,
good.
did you download the show? I was like, that was funny. I was like, he's looking at his Colorado numbers. I was like, Nick better be downloading that show, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So I said the wrong one. I meant to, Shelby. I was trying to tell you hi, and I told Nick hi. Sorry.
I was wondering what you were doing, but that's okay.
He's
Hey man,
trying. He's getting
y'all
his
take it easy on me,
thoughts
man.
confused. He has
Y'all take it
thoughts.
easy on me, man. I'm a juvenile at this.
No, no, you're getting good at it. Look,
Let's
Nick
see.
is welcoming everyone to your podcast. He's doing all the hosting. So,
Actually, per
yeah.
hundred, actually per 100,000 people, Alaska has the highest average of inmates, 633.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
really?
Mississippi is second.
Wow.
Oh,
Louisiana's third. Arkansas is fourth. Oklahoma sixth. Delaware,
Colorado
Arizona, Idaho, and
was on the
Texas.
bottom.
hmm Let's see. I can't find Colorado either. Where's that?
It's not there.
Tennessee either. See it either. Won't show them. I don't know
Let's
why. But, you know,
Oh yes, we don't have no law,
There's no laws in your city.
Uh-uh.
no law officers.
Yeah.
You have sheriffs, right? Not police.
See,
Oh no, we got police and sheriff, and state patrol.
Hmm.
the states that has the lowest is Vermont, North Dakota, Maine, Wyoming, and Rhode Island.
Rhode Island,
Uh,
yes.
so Tennessee or Colorado, either one's not on the highest or the lowest. I guess we're somewhere in the middle there. I used to know how many it was. For some reason, I used to think it's 144,000, but for some reason, I don't think that's right. I'm gonna look.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I guess back in the
So I
day,
was going
like
to ask you,
back in
Dane.
the early days, I guess they did like. Well, I know in the Bible days, like Paul, he wrote 13 books that they know of in the New Testament. I think he wrote Hebrews too, which is 14, but people differ on that. But anyway, when he had to go to prison and they kept most of the books that he wrote, he was either on house arrest or in prison. But in those times, you was either chained to the floor or you were chained to a guard. Um, so think about that. That would be pretty tough. Um,
It was.
So
If yeah, go ahead, Nick, and then I'll go
I was
after.
going to ask you, Dane. So you spent enough time there. How do those transfers work? Were you ever involved in any of that, like from from county to county or state to
oh
state?
man, I
Or
was in all of it. Yeah, the first time that I went, they actually got me from Texas, and actually, oh man, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a story. Um, that had to be what's it's called extradited. And how that works is if
extraditing?
you're in
Yes.
another state and another state has a hold on you, they'll take you to court and ask you if you want to sign for extradition, which means you just sign and they come and get you. And you can fight extradition and say, no, I'm not going to sign. But all that is that they have to prove that you are who they say that you are. And so they
Mhm.
have to get what's called a governor's warrant. And it's this big, long, thick stack of nonsense. It has like your picture, your fingerprint. So the first time I've been extradited twice. The first time I didn't fight it. I was in Harris County, Houston, Texas, um, and they came and got me. And it works like this: these companies, it's a company. It's not even a sheriff's department or anything like that. Called Transcore, and you are shackled and handcuffed with a chain that runs from your feet to your hands, and you are put in the back of a van with a steel cage in it, and you're padlocked in. If something happens in that van wrecks or where you're dead, catches on fire, you're dead. And it happened in Tennessee actually, but and then they'll have like a separation where the women may be. Now they get paid so much per mile, so the odds of you going straight to wherever you're going is slim to none. I actually got lucky that time. They picked me up on a Friday, and I got back to Franklin, Tennessee on Sunday. But the second time, I was in Arizona. I was in Tucson, Arizona, and um, they picked me up. We went from Tucson, Arizona, to another county in Arizona, to California, to Nevada, to Oklahoma, back to the same exact jail they picked me up at 5 days later, um, and then went all the way up to Flagstaff, Arizona, back through Oklahoma, Mississippi, Arkansas, all that stuff. It took me 17 days. I was in this van for 17 days to get back, shackled and handcuffed with that chain run up. Like I said, they will stop at like McDonald's or Wendy's or something in the morning and get you a sausage and biscuit and a drink. You can't have a cup of coffee because they're scared you will throw it on them. And they treat you, a lot of them treat
Mhm.
you pretty horribly. The guy who was driving the van when I got took from Arizona was a real prick. And for whatever reason, he didn't like me. He kept calling me Franklin instead of calling me my name. And I didn't like that. But anyway, he didn't like me. He kept doing this trivia stuff. And, in case people don't know, I'm highly intelligent. So I know a lot of things that you wouldn't think I knew. And so that was making him mad. And he would like get mad. And he smoked cigarettes. And he wouldn't give anybody a cigarette. He wouldn't let anybody smoke. When we was in Oklahoma, we're going, he's smoking a cigarette and he throws it out the window. And an Oklahoma state trooper saw it. And they pulled him over and made his ass go out there in the middle of the interstate and get that cigarette butt and fined him $475. So that's pretty funny. He got kind of what he deserved. But it's
Yes.
it's very bad conditions. That's a horrible thing. And you think about it. You think about the human being, how we adapt and how we do these things. And what you really think about is how we forget and put ourselves in a position to have that happen again.
Mhm. Wasn't it worse staying back in the 40s and 50s?
Mm-hmm.
I looked at the true story of Papillon. It's on Netflix. It's a true story of the guy. I think he survived prison.
All right.
He went back to prison 4 times. I don't know if you've seen
He
that
escaped,
movie.
you said?
It's an excellent movie. Nope. Yeah, he
Mm-hmm.
tried to, but they kept catching him, and he came back. He's the guy from Sons of Anarchy. If
Okay.
anybody watches Sons of
Mm-hmm.
Anarchy, it's an excellent story of. But this is I don't know the era. It has to be the 50s
Yeah.
or the 60s. And it was brutal the way they were treated. They were in chained and had to walk through like gravel,
Mm-hmm.
and there was no transportation, right?
Right.
Um I mean, he went into what you call solitary.
Right.
You know when they lock you in that chamber where there's no light? What do you call that place again? The black hole?
Right.
He got locked in there for 3 weeks, but mentally he survived. Yeah, mentally he survived. So that is a really good depiction of a story of a person who's been in prison that I can relate to. I mean, I don't know how this guy survived. He's still alive, I think, today. I have to find out his name. I'll get back to you on that. But he, I don't know how he survived being in that black hole with just food coming through the hole underneath. I don't think they fed him for a week,
I saw
and he still survived.
I saw it change. When I first went in,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
went in '98 is when I first went in.
yeah.
And
Yes.
while I was in there, okay, when I first went in, you still had to, don't get me wrong, you still have to be a man today, but you really had to be a man back then. There was no
Mm-hmm.
cameras in them
Mm-hmm.
and all these things, so you could get away about anything. They're not really going to investigate it. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
um, now as far as I tell people this right here is that as far as like rape, I did 21 years, and as far as I know of, I do not know of one single rape that ever happened in prison. Uh, and maybe it
Mm-hmm.
happened and nobody reported it or whatever, but I never knew of it happening. But like I said, when I first went in, you had to be a man. I was young, I was a little kid, but for whatever reason, what they call the old heads took to me and kind of schooled me on it. One of the first things I asked this old man in what's called classification, I said, "What's the
Mm-hmm.
best advice you can give me?" He said, "What you do on this rock will get you killed on this rock." Means the concrete that you walk on is what he was talking about. And that's the best advice that someone can give you, because if you think anybody in there cares about your life and cares about killing you, something's wrong with you, because they do not. There's a lot of people there who enjoy it, um, and they love the violence, and that's what all that they do. But it changed. I don't remember the year exactly. Well, I'll tell you what really changed a lot of it, believe it or not, was 9/11. When 9/11 happened, remember all the anthrax deal and all that? People were mailing anthrax to everybody and all that stuff. Well, they tried to say that someone mailed anthrax in. See, we used to be able to, at Christmas time, your family could get you a box, 25 pounds. They could put 25 pounds of food in it and mail it in there to you. Well, that year we
Mm-hmm.
didn't get anything at all. And it went to, we had to order it now from these said companies. So what cost you $1 on the street now costs you $10. You see what I'm saying? Because the prison's getting kickbacks from it, the company's getting kickback from it. And again, that's why the prison system will never be lower, because it's part of the U.S. economy. People don't understand that. Look at it. If they cut the prison system in half, it would be so detrimental to our economy. And that's why it's not. It's just not going to happen. It's only going to grow when they should be. Okay, so drug addicts. You know, people have their opinion on them. Is that another? A drug addict is not the same person sober that they are on drugs. If they are, something's wrong with them. I am nowhere at all the same person today as I was when I was on drugs. When I'm on drugs, I'm a piece of garbage. I wouldn't want me around nobody. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just the reality of it. But when we're not on drugs, so what can we do to help this person to get off the drugs? There needs to be programs. All this stuff should be initiated into it that we can do to help them. There is no help. Not in Tennessee. There's no help for them. So you go in. There's no rehabilitation in there. The studies have proved it. So you come out even worse. You take somebody. and you lock them down in a freaking hole for 9 years, what do you think that they're going to come out as? A fucking animal. You treat them like a dog, you're going to become a dog. Is that what you want back in society? No, but that's what they do. Everybody's going, well, what's going on? Think about what they're doing to your people, man. It's I was a product of the system for so long, but again, I deserved to go there. I broke the law. I did not deserve to be treated the way I was in there. You see what I'm saying? Um, I've done a few things, but did I deserve 9 years in solitary confinement? No, no, because that doesn't. They didn't do anything that made me cold, made me angry, made me all of these things that I had to work many years to get over. That's what drove me for a long time. I was an angry, violent man, and that's not who I am. You know what I'm saying? But they made me that way. I wasn't that way when I went in there,
Who,
but that's how I came out.
who decided?
Mm-mm-mm.
Who decided that you had to
Huh?
do
I can't.
solitary?
I can barely hear Nick.
Who
I
said
can
that?
hear. I can hear him. Maybe mute and unmute Dane and see if it works better. Your
All
mic.
right, 1 second.
Yeah,
Hey, Dane.
Yes,
Dane, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
he's right next to you.
I can hear you a little bit better.
I think his mic. He
Who
unmuted. Yeah.
who decided that you had to do solitary
What
confinement?
is called a D
Mm-hmm.
board. It's almost like you get a write up, and the very first. Now I deserved to go the first time. I'm not gonna try. I escaped. They sent me to an annex, and I decided it'd be a good idea. I'm just going to run off. They would take you. You would go out and work, and like you cut grass or off side of the road, whatever it may be that you do. And so I decided. Usually would go to like a church, and that's where you would eat lunch at. So you would have these two guards there, and all they have is a radio. They didn't have any guns or anything, and they'd be around front. So I said, "Well, shoot, I got about 30 minutes, man. I got a 30-minute head start. It'd be a good idea. I'm just gonna run away. No plan, no anything." And me and this other guy did it. I stayed in the woods for 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's a story for another day. But um, you go back and they give you what's called a write up. That's a Class A write up.
Mm-hmm.
Murder, attempted murder,
Mm-hmm.
and assault on an officer or staff member is Class A. So that's the worst write up you can get. So for escaping, my punishment was 6 months in the hole, which means in solitary confinement you have nothing. You have your mattress in there and your bed, and that's it. That's all you got for 6 months. And then maximum security. And so after 3 years, you'll get a review. I didn't get in any kind of trouble while I was on it. I actually educated my. I turned it into a lot of good the first 4 years, and then I was trying to read it. Nephew is serving
Your solitary was for how
4
long?
years the first time, and then
Oh
I
wow.
got off of it, and you go through like a step down. You go to close, which is the next security level from max. But who decides it is just an officer that works in the prison, Nick. That's who. You have a inmate
Mm.
lawyer, um,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes depending on what the charge is, you can pay. You know what I'm saying? You can pay this inmate advisor $100 to get it gone away with, but not on no escape or assaults or things like that. It's not going to happen. Um,
Right.
and so they decide. So and then it's a board of people who decide when you get off as well. It's like a so-called counselor who one time was just a guard. They don't have no education or nothing. They just kind of work themselves up to a counselor. They don't know anything about counseling, nothing at all. Not all of them,
Mm-hmm.
but 99%. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so I got off of it the first time. I was a month away from 4 years. To me, that's 4 years. And I stayed off. I don't know, about 6 months or something, and some things happened, and I got man, this is real. I'm an open book. I'll say it. I got attempted murder charge um, over a guy owed me $50. He owed me a bunch of money more than that, but he worked it down to $50, and then he got some money in, and he went and bought more drugs instead of paying me. So I beat him up, and he made the comment that he was going to kill me. Um, Now I could have let someone else deal with it, but I did it. My ex is under investigation for two murders. I'm sorry to hear that. Do you think he did it? And so I went back to Max again, and for 3 years, and then I got off of it after 3 years, and I don't remember how long I was off, but I went back for assault again the next time, but it was only for a fight, is all it was. Uh, but the guy got his head busted and this, that, and the other. So they charged me for assault. And I did the remaining 2 years of my sentence that time on max. I got out and I did not know, have a clue how to live life. I couldn't do anything. I was so paranoid and all these different things, antisocial. I was a completely different person than what I was when I went in. I used to be like I am today, a happy guy, all those things, and I came out a very angry, angry, angry man, and tried to get a job. I my brother was like, "Man, get a job." So to prove a point, I went to every fast food restaurant I could, every grocery store, Walmart, everywhere. No one would call me back and give me a job. So you release some. What do? Okay, you go in there and you spend 12 years of your life in there. This is what they give you when you get out. They give you $75 and a bus ticket. Okay, this is in 2009. Our economy was sucked at the time and all that. So what do they expect people to do? I was a nonviolent offender for the charges I went in for, property crimes they call it. Um, what if it wouldn't have been for my brother? I would have never made it. You know what I mean? I mean, how could I? I couldn't get a job. I had $75, no clothes. I mean, I've been gone 12 years. You know what I'm saying? What do you think people are going to do? What are they going to do? And that's the things that make me angry. It's the system is just so flawed, man. Now they have a little bit more programs here or there. You can kind of go to like a halfway house or these different things.
Well, I think when I'm listening to what you're saying is it's based on, like, I'm listening to you and I'm looking back at that show I was telling you about. It's based on a true story. The guy's name is Henry Sherrier. He survived solitary for 5 years, like the black hole. Like nobody's ever done that in history. But I guess what I'm saying is, if it's based on the charges, Dane, of what you're accused of,
Hmm.
right? Are they, do you think that's an unfair process? Because the charges that you have, I guess, is not as bad as being a pedophile or
Hell
being
no.
someone who's molesting a child,
Right.
right? So, do you think that's fair?
That.
Of how they, because what you're saying is you tried to get away and they put you back for more than two
Hmm.
years. Back then it was only 2 years. They put you in for more than 2 years. I think that's a
It
lot.
is. And another thing, you got to think about this. The very first cellmate that I had, at the time I had a 10-year sentence. He had 3 life sentences plus
Mm-hmm.
300 years. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? Like it should be like Arizona does it by levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like level one's the lowest. You're not going to be around people like
Mm-hmm.
that because it puts you in. I know several people who had 3 year sentences, 4 year sentence, end up with a life sentence inside there. What are you going to do? You see what I'm saying? You're going to protect you. It's the saying is that you're going to be a man or a mouse. Which one are you going to be? I'm not going to let you kill me. You know what I mean? So it puts you in a position that you don't want to be there. But at the end of the day, I put myself in that position to begin with. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
today, I'm not angry at the system. I'm not any of these things because at the end of the day, if I wouldn't have broke the law, I wouldn't have never been in that position. You see what I mean? Um,
Yeah,
did
I
do
understand what
I
you're
agree with
saying.
everything that went on? No, but again, I put myself into that position. So it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm glad he's my ex, though. Yeah, I know you are.
Mm. She's also Canadian, so
Okay.
just to know, mom is Canadian. So yeah, we're the only two Canadians on here.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yes, he's my ex. I'm glad. Yeah, I know you are.
Ah, good story. Good story,
Yeah.
Mom Bear.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of people who, man, there's probably people that I've done time with. If somewhere down the line they listen to this, they're really going, man, what's wrong with him? I can't believe he's saying that. It's true. I mean, that's the truth. We do it to ourselves. You know what I mean? I escaped.
Hmm.
Okay. I knew what the punishment was. I knew I got 2 more years and I almost got a lot more than that, but I'll tell that story another day. But um, I almost ended up with a life sentence behind that deal. Um, but anyway, uh, and so you know what you're doing. You know what the punishment is. If you do it, then it's on my dumb ass to go to max for 4 years or whatever, because I chose to do that.
Right.
I don't like to call myself dumb. I made a lot of dumb decisions, Bella. You know what I mean? I made a lot of stupid
Yes.
decisions, man.
Yes.
I did, and I was smarter than that.
Yes.
But the problem was, I didn't think that I was. That was one of my biggest problems because I hated school. I wouldn't do my homework. I could read and write and all that stuff, of course, but I didn't know that I was actually as intelligent that I am until I was on Max. So it did a lot of good things for me too. I educated myself, like I said.
Mhm.
I learned the Bible. I learned it from the beginning to the end. I studied it, took a theology course through the mail, passed it with flying colors. I'm very, very proud of that. Um, but if I wouldn't have done that, um, me, Black Dragon, were you having problems hearing me? Um, no. Okay, good.
Ah,
And so, those things, and I found that I love to read. I'm a reader. I love to read, and I found that out in there. And my mind is like a sponge. I soak things up. If I
yes,
get if I get on a
yes.
certain topic, I'm not going to stop till I'm satisfied that I know everything I want to know about it. Because I don't want to be in a conversation. Somebody say I'm a dumbass.
Hmm. Of course, a lot of reading, right? A lot
Yes,
of
I think
reflecting.
I think we need
You had
to.
a lot of time to
I think,
reflect.
yeah. I
Yeah, a
mean,
lot of
yeah.
time to
Well, like I
reflect.
said, I
Yeah.
did the first 6 months without any.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I could have was books. That's all I could have in myself. Couldn't have anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I got things. It's prison. I mean, you know what I mean? I got a radio and these type of things.
Hmm.
And I didn't do drugs in there. To figure that one out. Tell me why that is. I mean, I know why it is, but think about that. All the time I did, there's only been one time I've been in there that I did drugs, and it was the last time I was in there, and I didn't do much. Well, at one point I did. Um, there was a lot of Suboxone in there. Suboxone is it's a, it's a, it's a opioid drug, but it has a blocker in it called naloxone. And what it is that it's for addicts. They give it to you, and a lot of people on the program. It works for a lot of people. I'm an advocate for it. It does work for a lot of people, and it's like a blocker. So if you take it like you're supposed to, and you do regular dope, you won't feel it. We dated when I was 18 years ago. He did some messed up shit. Yeah, I guess he is in jail if he's facing 2 murder charges. Um, damn, it's 18. Sorry you have to go through that. I know, even though you're not with him and all that, I know you kind of feel some kind of way about that. You would have to, but so this Suboxone comes in these little bitty strips. They're like little bitty inch long strips, and they're really thin. And so it's a new thing in prison. And I thought, the addict mind tells you, oh, you can do just one time. You can do it. You'll be okay. That's the biggest lie that your mind will tell you, because as an addict, as soon as you reactivate those receptors in your brain, it's over with. You're gone until you either get sober, die, or go to jail. Um, so, hey, Black Dragon, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, Dane, and yeah, it was good see you this morning, man. And I'll just say from the videos I've seen, just with Angola alone, definitely jail ain't no place nobody should ever want to go.
Mm-mm, no. And I say this now,
Exactly.
if you want some, then go get you some. Because if you think they care about putting your ass in prison, you are very, very wrong and mistaken.
Mm.
The state's making $69,000 a year off of you. Has anybody got a calculator? Add up
No. Let me see. Maybe. Hold on. My phone, I do.
Add up,
Yeah.
just add up
Okay.
69,000 times 1,500 times
69,000
1,500.
mm-hmm, times 1,500. Yeah.
How much is that?
Oh my God, I can't read all these digits. It's 6 digits. 103,500,000.
Okay, so it's 103,500, correct? Is that what that is?
Um, yeah, I guess
Okay,
so.
so that's each compound. Okay, think about that. So the state is getting over 100 grand per prison a year. All right. So where is this money going? Where is it going? And some prisons have 2,000 or 2,200 inmates. So the money, like I said, they don't give you anything. Prison does. They give you when you go in, they give you 6 pairs of boxers, 6 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of pants, 2 shirts, and a pair of boots. Okay. Now, all of that stuff is made inside the prison. Okay. So where is this money going? I told you how the food is. They don't feed you anymore. Even if you got up every day and you went to breakfast and you ate everything on your tray, you go to lunch, eat everything on your
Mhm.
tray. You go to supper and eat everything on your tray. Oh, and by the way, they only feed you 2 meals on the weekend. You don't get 3 meals. You still would be starving to death. Um, I was lucky or blessed. Um, I didn't have to do that. I had plenty of commissary and stuff, and so I was one of the fortunate ones. But people who don't have anything, um, it's a pretty hard time. And then okay, and then you got your drug addicts in there. Okay, so everything that their parents or their wife or girlfriends or whoever are sending them is going to the dope dealer. So you don't have anything anyway. Yeah, and you're in there starving. You don't. They'll be in the cell like they're doing whole time. Won't be nothing in there. I shouldn't laugh, but they won't be nothing in there but a mattress, and your sheets and blankets, and they'll sell them if they can get some dope for it. So, uh, you know, and believe it or not, people buy extra sheets and stuff because you just buy everything. It's like a prison is like a world inside the world. You have everything inside there. You got the barbershop. You got the technical shop where you can fix your TVs and stuff. You have female guards who translate to prostitutes, nurses, different women that work there. Not all of them do this, but the majority. I don't understand why a woman would want to work in a man's prison. That's me. But I mean, I understand they probably need a job and all that and the other. Not all of them do that, but the majority do. Again, I'll be honest. Every time I've been in there, I've had a female guard, nurse, or something. Every time who was bringing me drugs or whatever. But again, they all don't do that. But the majority. So you have a working world inside there, and we'll say the economy's bad. Inside there, it's not funny, but I mean that's just how you look at it. Yeah, think about it. A lot of these guys are doing their life in there, man. They're not ever getting out, so they want to live the best way that they can. You know what I mean?
And plus, from what I heard, Dean, it's the same routine over and over. Is that true? Is there truth to that? That it's the same routine over and over in them
Black
places?
Dragon. What did Bella? Did you hear him? I couldn't even hear him.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, I can
Yeah.
hear
What did he
him.
say?
Okay. No, I was
Yeah.
asking, is it the same routine from day to day? Because that's what I
Yeah,
hear
it is.
about.
Um, Pretty much. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, yeah, like if you go in there and you don't have a GED, they try to force you to go to school. And when I first went in, I did not want to go to school. Like I said, I didn't want to go to school on the street. So they come to me and tell me I was going to go to school. I said, no, I can't read and write. And they said, well, you're going to learn. I was like, damn, I couldn't get out of it no matter what. But I'm glad now. I'm looking back on it, but I didn't take it then. I ended up taking it while I was on
Right.
max. But yeah, it's pretty much the same old thing. Um, 6
Mm-hmm.
o'clock, you get up, your doors up, they'll unlock the doors or whatever. And then they'll either start at the bottom of the compound or they'll start at the top and they'll start running chow. But now we have controlled
Mm-hmm.
movement and a lot of them because there's so much violence is going on in Tennessee that what that is, they have these guards that are called the green team. They are just more equipped. They have like pepper ball guns and all these different things, and they stand out on the
Right.
walk. They're the sidewalks because most compounds like along. They're big, they're wide, they're spread out, so it's like sidewalks everywhere.
Right.
Um, and so, but yeah, it's pretty much all the same thing. You either go to school or you get some kind of job, which is they do have like masonry class, but you don't ever go. And they have horticulture, which you grow stuff. They have well, they built their prison in Tennessee called Bledsoe, and it was built for programs. And it's supposed to have a mechanic shop, it's supposed to have a welding shop, it's supposed to have heat and air shop, it's supposed to have electrical. You're supposed to learn all these things. Well, they turned it into classification, so don't none of that stuff go on there. They built and spent all that money, and that's not even what the prison's used for.
Mm-hmm.
The most things that
I'll say one thing. It's definitely sad when one really ruins their life because you know it's this life is only we're only here temporary for a season, as the Bible says, and we're not here forever. So we got to do right in what's best. We got to learn to do better, and a lot of us do want to do better, but then again, the ones that don't, well, I don't know, man.
I kind of caught bits and pieces. Did you say we
Right.
want to do better or we should want to do better?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we should all want to do better, and
Man,
even those of us that have a bad past, we should want to reform to do what's
man, I'm gonna
better.
tell you,
I think people
Really?
deserve a reform
yes.
Yeah.
based on the
Do you
charge. I
do you
think
know what reform
people,
me?
yes. Uh, well, I just think that people deserve a chance at being reformed, and not being
Right.
stigmatized.
See,
That's what I really think.
How
what
many
reformed me
When they
times?
come
was
out.
I reformed myself.
What's that,
How
Nick?
many times should they be reformed, though?
Well, it would be based on the
There you go.
charge. I think
It
if the
don't.
charge and their behavior while they're in prison, which is, well, prison is not a good place to be.
If you,
You know, they deserve I guess something written up that says, they cooperated, did what they had to do, and so it's based, but it's ideally based on the
the
charge, I
thing
think.
is this. This is what people, and there's people on here all over the world and all across the United States that are going to hear this, and it's a good thing. What people need to realize is the conditions that are inside these prisons, this, that, and the other. What's being released back out into the public is an animal. So be careful what you wish for, especially if
Hmm.
it went back to
Hmm.
what someone made a comment yesterday about how they wish they could be. You would be releasing the most violent, evil people you could ever imagine back into society if you did that. Um, if you if you're treated
Yes.
like an animal, you're
Yes.
going to
Yeah.
become one. Now, again, I go back to this: if you hurt a child,
Hmm.
if you rape a woman or man, um, and if you outright kill somebody, if you rob somebody and you kill somebody, or you're a hitman, you should never be back in society.
Hmm.
Period.
No.
You should
100%.
never be
I agree
back.
with
Now,
that.
if you're trying to
Yes.
save your life and you kill, that's all that stuff's different. I'm not talking about that. I
Mhm.
think everybody has a right to protect their life and their home, without a doubt. But if you're,
Now, a good
Mhm.
example of that. Everybody familiar with Richard Kuklinski that used to be a hitman for the mob?
Yep.
Yes.
You talking about an animal? That was an animal. He didn't have no remorse or anything.
Yeah. What was his name again, Black Dragon?
It was Richard Kuklinski. He
Yeah, but
was a
he
he
made a
was a hit.
movie. What did they call him?
Yeah, the Iceman.
Iceman, the Iceman,
yeah,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
yeah, he was
Yep.
horrible. He was a horrible
Yeah,
person.
he was. And that's just a prime example that I'm giving, but there's people like that that don't have a conscience. They don't care.
Yeah, but he had a family and daughters, and
yeah.
Yeah,
so
but Nick, he didn't turn out good in the end though, did he?
well, no, but he still had that love inside of him for his kids and his family.
Now that, of
He
course.
had a job, which
Yeah.
we disagree with, but
Yes.
he was
Now
paid to do certain things, and
he said it himself. If he had to do it over, he wouldn't, and I'm sure he wouldn't. But it's like it only takes one time for us to mess our lives up for good,
That's
and
it.
that's not a good thing.
You know, I
Yeah.
messed mine up bad. And I even got trouble as a juvenile too. It didn't just start when I was an adult. Um, you know,
Right.
so I got my first charge I
Hmm.
got was when I was 15 years old. Um, and then when I was 16, I ended up getting sent away to what was called a group home due to a couple of different things. But the main reason I went was because I got a girl pregnant, believe that or not. They filed a restraining order on us not to see each other, and they charged me for violating this. And I was on probation, and so I went to a group home. So mine started early, and I didn't learn from that. Uh, because after
Mm.
that, when I left from there, my drug addiction really took off. That's when the Dilaudid came into my life, and yeah, it was bad times, man. It was just bad times, and so I started at the age of 40, really trying to straighten my life out. I was trying really hard, but then I'd give up because things wasn't happening fast enough or whatever, and I would just give up. Or me and her would get into it. She had a way of fucking pushing my buttons like anybody I've ever seen in my life, and um,
Mm. Yeah.
uh, so I started then,
I don't
and I
know.
couldn't leave the
Yeah,
drugs alone. But
yeah,
I would make what I call baby steps. So even though
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I would relapse, the things even back at 40, I still stand on today. I would learn
Hmm.
these little nuggets, I call them, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Mm.
And today I
Hmm.
apply
Yeah.
all that to my life, and I finally got it. But it's only because of God. That's it. If people are not a God
Amen.
guy, I hate that for you. I am a big God guy, and I'll
Hmm.
never say it.
I
I'm not, and I'll never be shy to say it, and I'll never be ashamed to say it.
I,
Um,
I won't
I'm a
either
huge God
because
guy
without
because
God,
that is what
Hmm.
yeah,
changed me. God changed me. Um,
yeah,
Dane,
you
can you
know,
hear us all better now? You can hear us
I
all
can hear
better?
you good. I can hear you. I've been able to hear you.
Oh
I want
yeah.
to say, I want to
Yes.
say, amen, Dane. You're right, and without God, Do you think I'd be anything right now without God in my
No,
life? No, none of us
no,
would. Nobody would.
no.
No.
100%. I do agree with that.
It's it's and the thing is that he was trying. Again, I was not raised in a Christian home. My grandmother, my
Right.
grandmother was amazing, amazing woman. She would go to church like on the weekends and stuff like that. I mean, on the weekends. I'm sorry,
Right.
on Easter Sunday and stuff. But nobody ever talked about
Right.
it. But for some reason, now, okay, when I told you I got sent to that group home, well, there was a pretty girl that went to church, so I decided I want to go to church, and so I would go to church to hang out with the pretty girl, and it kind of got to me a little bit, so I decided I was going to get saved. Oh, there was these two boys that were there, and when they first came in, they said they were devil worshippers, and I was like, what the fuck ever, whatever. And so there was a counselor there by the name of Lee Brewer. He's an Alabama fan, so me and him got along very, very well. And he was a good guy. His wife was pregnant, but these two kids didn't like him. So one night they were over there doing this hummity stuff or whatever they were doing. I don't know what they were doing. And I was like, I was trying to sleep, and this shit was making me mad. And anyway, the next morning, Lee Brewer didn't come to work, and I heard them say, I bet he won't. I bet he regret doing that to us now. Well, he doesn't come to work that day. And I was like, "Where's Lee at?" His wife was pregnant and she had miscarried and lost the baby about 3 o'clock that morning. And that's when these dudes were doing this hummity stuff. So I was like, "Damn, maybe they are really devil worshippers or whatever." One of them decided he wanted to give his life to the Lord, and so me and him go together to this preacher, and we're sitting in there, and he's saying, "Do you believe in Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior?" And all these things. And I didn't feel anything. I look over at this kid and he's crying, man, these big old alligator tears. And I was like, man, I don't feel anything. But I mean, he had the devil in him for real. So I don't know whatever happened to the kid, but that's a true story. So right then, what I learned from that was the devil is definitely real, um, without a doubt.
Yes, he is.
And so those little things kind of
And
stuck
you
with
know,
me. And then I was in county jail one
that's
time,
right.
and there's a guy I know, and the first murder I ever seen in my life, he did it. And I was 14 years old. And this guy
Mm,
went to jail and he gave his life to the Lord. And he's a preacher today. He never went back. And he
wow.
goes to the jail and sings, and he is just one of them. So all of these things were leading me to God. You see what I'm saying? God was talking to me through all this.
I,
And
absolutely, absolutely. Trying to get your
yeah.
attention, in other
And so
words.
when I was on
Yeah.
Max, the first time, I said, you know what? I'm going to learn this Bible, but I'm going to learn it the right way. And so I got the Strong's Concordance, and I learned the Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic, and I learned it from the very first word in it to the very last word in it. And so I was proud of that, and I knew it. But I believe differently than your modern day Christians do. I believe it says a lot of different things than I don't believe that it does. I know that it does, than what they teach us. But they really don't teach you the Bible in church today anyway. I'm sorry if there's religious people. I don't mean to disrespect you, but that's just how I feel. Because I would ask them, and they would get mad at me for asking them these questions. I'm like, why would you get mad at me for asking you this question? But they would. I'll just throw this out there. We've always been told that everybody came from Adam and Eve. The whole world came from Adam and Eve. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible does not say that. The first story we really have in there is that ate the fruit of the tree. It's not an apple. It doesn't say apple anywhere either. And then so we have the Cain and Abel story. Cain kills Abel. God comes to him and he says all these things, and he says he's going to kick him out of the Garden of Eden or whatever. And Cain says, "What am I going to do? These people are going to be trying to kill me. Who? Who are these people? If everybody came from Adam and Eve, these are the first two born from them." And then he goes east into the land of Nod and marries a woman. You see what I'm saying? So we're
Yeah.
lied to so much because people don't study it, and those kind of things would anger me, and they would give me all kind of reasons of why and all these different things, and there's so many more things, but um, so that's
Well,
why I don't really
the
go to
thing
church
that
and all that
Matt,
because it's just so much about money.
the
You go into church today and you walk in there and they're selling everything. That's the first sign of anger Jesus ever sold. If anybody knows the story, where he goes into the temple and they're in there changing money, doing all these
here's
things, he
what
turns
I
the table over. You're not supposed to be doing this in my Father's house. Then why are these churches doing it
here's
today?
what I want to say. Here's what I want to say too, Dane. Actually, The church is actually human being to human being. It was never meant to be the way that it is now, how much it's gotten out of hand. So, in a way, you are right. We do agree with that. However, like I said, we are the church. We as the humans are the church.
We all deserve what?
I said, we're the church.
Yes.
We as the people, we're the
Yes.
church. It has nothing to do with bricks or
Nope.
mortar. No, 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 no. That's a misconception today. I'm sorry, but it is, folks. But
Hey,
Black
Dane.
Dragons Radio Network, what do you mean by that? Well, because, not everything that's said in this world is of truth.
Nope. And most things that they tell you are a lie. And that's what puts me off because I know. I've studied it. I've had some of the original text. I have, whatever. And I'm not saying I'm 100% right, but you'd be hard to convince me otherwise unless you can prove it to me because I can prove to you everything that I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I know what you
And
mean,
it's like,
absolutely.
yeah, it's just,
Are you familiar?
and I've tried. I've tried to go to church and stuff, but it just, yeah, never worked out.
Are you familiar with this Sue Ellen Allen that Red Wolf is talking about down here?
Um, Hold on one second. Yeah,
Have you
I saw
heard
what
of
you said
any?
about that. That's what I was reading. This prison system and went down. She's advocate for building programs to help prisoners transition out. Really insightful. Someone asked me that. They asked me if I thought that I would ever go into jails and prisons and stuff and talk. And immediately I said no. But I don't know. Maybe one day I may. I would love to be an advocate. I'd really love to be an advocate more for these county jails. I mentioned that Sumner County a while ago. Um, it's just, again, there. I had a harassment charge that I didn't even do, and I was getting found innocent on it. The person said it was not me. I did not do it, and they still wanted to find me guilty. Were trying to make me plead guilty to it, and I was like, I'm not pleading guilty that I didn't do it. Well, then they said, well, we're going to find you guilty, no time served. You know why they did that? So they could fine me $7,000.
Good Lord.
Yeah. And so that's where
That's
the anger and stuff comes from.
So it was all about the big dollar, huh?
Huh?
It was all about the mighty dollar.
The first time they fined me $140,000.
God.
I didn't have to do it. I didn't have to do it because I did all of my time. There was nothing they could do to me for not paying it. You see what I'm saying? It went away.
Right, right.
But yeah, my fines
Well,
and
you talking about
fines and restitution was $144,000 plus 10 years, added up to 12 years, and so yeah, it's all money.
Good Lord have mercy. You talking about corruption on top of corruption.
Yes.
So, is there
Man,
any
man.
programs there where you are at, Dane, in Tennessee, that you could go into these county jails, or
No.
have you
Well,
looked into that?
Robertson County Jail, which is Portland and all these different places. So they actually did, man. They had an AANA program. They had some other stuff, and it was like certain units. That's all it was. But what I've heard is that when COVID hit, everything changed. I don't know if it's back to that now, but they actually had NANA actual programs. They went to meetings inside of there, and they gave you incentives for it, like 2-for-1 or whatever. I think they may even give you 3-for-1. I'm not sure, but so you get 2 days for every day that you serve. You serve a day, and then a day comes off the back of your sentence, so it meets in the middle. Did somebody try to call in just then? I missed it. Yes, there we go. I'm sending you a thing back there, short pants. Sorry about that. I missed you.
Okay.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. So if those, no, not too bad. I actually have a thing I want to talk to you about later, but that's a little different. I had someone show up today at my house, but it's recovery related.
Okay.
Have you contemplated, like, if they used to have those things in the jail? Have you thought about advocating to try to get them back?
Yes, I definitely want to do that. I want to go to the state capitals and stuff. That's what me and my ex used to talk about. She always used to tell me, me and her aren't together anymore, but she huge in where my life is today. I'll never say that she's not. No matter how mad I get or angry at her, she is definitely huge because she is the one that made me really look inside me and see that how much good I really had in me, um, in these things. And so yes, I would, but as far as going in them, and like right now, my mind would say, man, but what if there's something out there from the past that come up that I never got charged with and they don't let me out, or something.
Well, I mean that's there, but
Yeah.
I tell you what, some guy like me who's been to jail once, just spent the night. Um, other than that, didn't really have any ramifications for my use. Uh, Ain't going to be able to talk to someone in the way that somebody who's been through a lot more
Hmm.
can do. In that kind of a situation, they'll listen to you where they won't listen to me.
Right. You're right. Yeah. And
Right. So that's the kind of thing, and it says that we can go into all sorts of sordid places, provided that our motives are correct.
yeah, see,
So
unfortunately, I have a real good name on the inside. Um, I don't say unfortunately, but I do. So you're right. People will respect me so much if I did go inside there and do it. I know that they would, and who knows? Maybe I'm leading that way, and God's leading me that way. If that's where He wants me to go, I'll go because I will listen to Him. Um, but
uh,
today, I say I'd rather not.
well, I'd say check every avenue, right? Like
Yeah,
poke and prod
you
and
know,
see where the well is.
I'm just a voice, and I still need everybody to help me on it, man. People, I mean, we need more people. We want to go to these capitals about some of the stupidest thing. Let's go in there to help your loved ones, man, who are really suffering. You know what I mean? And you're going inside. Okay, the whole purpose of prison, they say, is rehabilitation. I want you to tell me where in the hell you're getting any rehabilitation in there. Because if these people are saying that, I'm gonna look at every one of them dead in their eyes and point my finger at them and tell them you're a damn liar. You're not getting no
Yeah,
rehabilitation.
yeah, that's a $10 word, right?
Yeah.
Rehabilitation. Um, well, let me share a little story here. The guy that showed up at my door today, I got to bed at around 11 o'clock
Hmm.
today, my time, um, and I got to work tonight. At 1:30, I get woken up saying so and so is here, and I had no idea. I'm trying to figure out why I'm awake, that kind of stuff. Um, and so this guy that about 2.5 years before he got out of prison, he spent about 21 years straight uh, in um, in Washington State, and so a couple years before he got out, he started seeking recovery places on the outside,
Hmm.
right? And somebody gave him my name. I ended up working with the guy. When it comes down to it, when everything falls apart in his life, the first person he goes to is me. Right.
Right. I think I lost you. Can anybody else hear him?
I can't hear him at all. No.
Mm-mm, you went somewhere, Robert. Not sure what happened, buddy.
Yo.
Oh, there you are.
Oh
Got you.
no.
Got you now.
Uh, yeah, I'm in a spot where my phone switches between cellular and
Yeah.
Wi-Fi,
And
so it does some weird
last
stuff.
thing I heard you say
Um,
was you're the person he went to.
yeah. So he so I ended up working with him while he was still in. I mean, like we did the deal while he was still in. It wasn't until after he had already been started helping other people inside, and then he got out was the first time I met
Hmm.
him. Um, but this guy will listen to me where he won't listen to anyone
Right.
else. Um, the last time I saw him before this was at least 6 months ago. Um, and between that time, I've had like calls from the sheriff and well, two calls from the sheriff, trying to figure out if we could find him or not, and and nothing. But there was something going on there. Um, so, anyways, this guy comes back, And the I guess the point of that is that he came back because he's wanting that recovery again. He wants the solidity of that. He hasn't been drinking, and he's been sticking to just he's on medical marijuana and has been pretty much since he got out. But that's kind of all he's doing. The point is that recovery when you're locked up can have a long-lasting effect, and that long-lasting effect is when something happens and he starts getting squirrely, he has one place he can go, one thing he can do, right? And that's show up at my place. For a lot of guys that are in the jails, you might be the only person who can talk to them, the only person that they can talk to that will actually understand.
Right.
You might be the lifeline as they're walking out. And even though it's scary,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, even though it's scary, it can be worth it. I mean, the guy's sleeping on my couch right now.
Right.
Like, I trust him sleeping. Like my wife's at home, and she was the one that was like, "Hey, he'll be fine sleeping on the couch." But like I got this call, and like it took me a good month before I was like, "Fine, I'll do this. I'll actually like work with a guy that's locked up." But that's, to me, that this one guy is almost more important than the guys that are like me, that just had some stuff happen in their life, like, oh, the wife, I was going to recovery for the wife, or I was going to recovery for the doctor or the judge. To me, he's a little bit different, right? Because he got sober in a spot where it's very hard to get sober.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, like, there's a big difference in that.
I agree. I do agree. And Robertson County's only just.
I don't know if I'm saying that right. I've got like a million things going through my head.
You are. You're saying it right.
I understood what you're saying.
And that's awesome of you to be that person for him. I never had anybody like that I would go to or whatever.
Well, it wasn't for the kudos. It was think hardly about this, because like going into prison or working with people that are on the inside may actually be the calling that you're looking for.
Maybe, man.
Like, because you're wanting to talk.
Well, I had an idea.
You're wanting to
taking a podcast in the jail, actually.
Absolutely. If they're willing to talk.
Oh, I could get them to talk.
Absolutely. Why not?
Get them to talk. I could do that. I don't worry about that. It's just a matter
Tell your
of
story, and all of a sudden, someone's listening to them, right? Someone's actually like paying attention to what they're saying.
It's a matter of getting them to let me do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It may be something I may end up doing, man. You may be right.
So I will say it's a lot easier on a local level.
Yes.
Like, if you can talk to them locally, and get them to open up, that's one thing. If you have to make it, like, you start small and work your way big.
I think it's a good idea.
Have you made it to Discord yet?
Yes, I'm on there. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm not in a spot where I can write it down or find you.
I'll put it in.
So I'll find you later, and I'll
put it in the chat.
Okay. Yeah. I'll take a screenshot of it. Yeah, or Nick can send it to me if he's already.
Yeah, I got it. If he wants, you don't mind?
No, go ahead, send it to him. That's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
So I've got a number of people, a number of talks of people who've gone through situations like that.
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
That might be worth listening to.
I'm gonna put it in the chat too. So if anybody wants it, they can have it. And that's what I'm here for. And my email is on a lot of these episodes. If anyone wants to get in contact with me, you need to talk, you got something going on, you need somebody to talk to, send me a message or send me an email. It is.
Well, I'm gonna send you a few speaker tapes, by the way.
Awesome.
At least links for them.
It is Dane 0636, isn't it, Nick?
Oh, I don't know.
Hmm. What was that, Bella?
Nothing. I'm just listening to Nick.
Oh,
I think it's Dane 0636. I think that's what I'm seeing in the chat. I think that's what it is.
For your
Yes,
Discord name?
ma'am.
Yeah. The hashtag, no?
Huh?
I think it's a hashtag. There's always a hashtag or something in
Oh,
there.
Oh
oh, I
six
have
three
the.
six.
I'm going between like service and no service.
Mhm.
It's a bad
It's oh
spot.
six three six.
Oh six three
sounds right.
six. Yep, that's
Dane
what it.
oh
That's what it
six three
says.
So
six.
again,
Yeah.
anybody who wants that, send me a message. You need to talk mental health. You got something going on. Need somebody to talk to. There's always a better way.
Yeah.
No matter what you got going on, before you make that bad decision of going to use again or whatever. Or if you
Mhm.
just need to cry out, I'll cry with you, man. Send me a message. We'll talk about it. Um, I wasn't a crier, when I got sober, I found out I was a crier. Man, I was a cry baby. I couldn't stop crying.
No kidding, man. Oh my god.
Man,
Have you found yourself crying at like weird
oh
Disney
my
movies?
God,
Like the
yes,
older
sir.
ones?
First, man,
Yeah.
it wouldn't stop. And I told Beth, I said, I want this
Like,
shit to stop. And she was laughing at me. I said, I can't
uh
stop. I can't stop.
I was sitting there, my little nieces are looking at me like, Uncle Robert, are you okay?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
I used to say, man, I wished I could cry.
Marvel found his sister. It's
When
okay.
I finally started crying,
You
I
know?
said, I wish this shit would stop. It just
Oh
wouldn't go
man.
away.
I tell you what, it does feel a lot better though.
Man, I got so much stuff out of me, Robert, when I
Once
cried,
it
man.
happens.
Man, I let go of so much stuff. It was amazing. It was like cleansing my whole spirit. So if
Yep.
you're a big tough guy like me who thinks, crime's whatever, get you some of it. See how therapeutic it is.
Yeah. I don't mind. I just don't like doing it in front of people.
Yes, it
It's,
is, Red
it's
Wolf.
not
It
comfortable.
sure is, man.
It's not
I
comfortable.
recommend everybody do it.
Yep.
I think this has been a pretty good show.
All right. Good.
How much time we have left, Dane?
I guess about 20 minutes. What we get, 2 hours? Is that our limit? Yeah, we
Yeah.
got about
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Yeah, 2 hours.
All right.
I'm gonna mute up for a bit,
All right, man.
so I'll talk to you
Thank you
guys
for
later,
sharing.
and I'll get some
All
information
right,
to you,
man.
dude.
Thank you for sharing that
Yeah.
story, man.
It's good seeing the rest of you,
All right,
All right,
everybody.
buddy.
Black
Bye, man.
Dragon, whereabouts are you from? Nice to meet you.
Well, nice to meet you too. I'm from Texas.
Texas?
Yes,
Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Texas. I lived in Texas for a little while. I
Yeah.
lived in Houston, Tomball, Texas for a little while.
Oh, cool, man. Yeah, I'm with you on that. A lot of times, what I'll normally do for even come on a line or even on Podbean, what I find it helps me. As crazy as this may sound to folks out there who don't really know me very well. Look, folks, what I do is I listen to music. Basically, music, as they say, it can heal broken souls. And it does. It is a healing
It is,
factor.
man.
Not just with God, but also
Yes.
music added in there can heal in ways that you would not expect.
100%.
I
I
want to say to everybody who's listening now or may hear this, you're somebody. You're important. Somebody loves you. So whatever you got going on, man, you can be better. You got to want it. You got to look in the mirror and tell yourself how much you love you and cry. Let all that shit go. And whatever it is, we all got to pass. I understand, people go through a lot of stuff, man. But if you hit them knees and you'll sincerely surrender to God, He'll take it from you. He'll give you the strength that you
Yeah,
need, whatever it is you may be going through. So give it a try. And again, you need
that's
to reach
right.
out. I'm here. That's what this is all about. My heart is in this. I'm sincere with what I'm saying right now. I would reach out to each and every one of you if you give me a call or email me. I'll help you in any way I can. I won't buy no drugs for you. But I'll do everything else. Um, it's
right.
No, I've already did a bad thing on my past. It wasn't that, thank God, but
oh,
still,
almost
no.
forgot something. If you're in this area and you're in Franklin, Tennessee, and something happens, your cars break down or do whatever, call Gentry Towing. They're the best thing going. Great reviews on Google, 615-772-6149.
Mm,
Give them a call. They'll come help you out. So there's that. I think it's been a good show. What do y'all think?
I,
I think it's been
I,
great. Yeah.
I think it's been great, and I'll just say, as a warning in closing,
Mhm.
don't mess with the occult like I did, folks. Don't get wrapped
Mhm.
up into something demonic.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of touched on that in one of my shows with Nick
Mm,
and Dane, and that
mm,
sometimes the devil will come out. when these things
Oh
happen.
yes.
Yeah, definitely
He
will.
just suddenly appears.
You know,
Poof, he's there. And
I
right?
I'm
That's
this type
right.
of person now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when I start waking up in the morning, before I ever raise up out of the bed, before I get that dip I'm wanting so bad, or that cup of coffee,
Mm-hmm.
I start praying immediately. Like that's who I am because
Yes.
I know He's listening. Hit them knees, man. Hit them
Yes.
knees and prepare yourself for the day. That's the most important thing. You have to prepare
That's it.
yourself
Mm-hmm.
immediately because if you slip up, that devil's out there waiting,
That's
man.
right.
He's sitting there waiting and
Yes.
hoping you're going to slip up.
Yes.
And if you do, he's going to get you.
And that is so important. I'm so happy. Like, I've met people who are kind of on my wavelength. Exactly what I do in the morning is pray. I mean, whatever religion you believe in, there's no, like, whatever you believe in, whatever God, I respect that. But you have to believe in something
Yep.
to get by these things in life. I really truly believe that. And I believe that
Yeah.
talking to people like you guys on here is a huge, huge bonus.
Yes. And everybody, please
It
follow me
definitely
and
is
all that good
because
stuff. And
Yeah,
you
everybody
know
should follow each
yes,
other.
yeah,
Everybody should follow
it
each
sure
other,
helped me out. Um,
because it's really, yeah. So please
I
follow
don't.
Dane, of course. Follow Dane, and Black Dragon will follow you, and
Of
Nick follow
course,
me, and
absolutely.
Nick's already following me. He follows me
I
everywhere.
hope to
So,
build a lot of genuine friendships because I really don't have a lot of genuine friendships. Mine
Yeah.
were always based on drugs and these kind of things. And um, I've got
hmm
people in the program still I'm friends with, but y'all know what I'm saying. Be like a big
You
family.
know, the older that I get, that I'm still a young buck in life. Only, even though I'm only 45. You know, one thing I realized, Dane, is man, how short is this life? If we don't take opportunities now, we're going to regret it later.
it's true.
You know.
Well, I really appreciate Dean bringing out, being so organic and being trustworthy to, like, express himself on this platform. It's sometimes it's hard to speak in front of a lot of people. You have a lot of
It is.
confidence. He's
Yeah.
very confident, and I like to surround myself with confident people. I don't mean to sound bad, but I need to do that at this point in my life. I've always surrounded myself with confident people, and I think I think that's where we're going with that. Nick, any last words? Are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you're
I,
there. Okay.
I was just going to tell Dane he's got a couple people that would like to join him maybe someday in his one of his shows.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Can you
Oh,
put your Discord or your email or something that these guys can get a hold of you?
Yeah.
sure.
Let me put the email in. I'll put it in right now too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm gonna fix to put the Discord again and my email. Contact me. I'll get to you as soon as I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, the more people, the better. I enjoy people coming up sharing their opinions. That's what this is all about. Not that I want to have any
Let me
argument. I don't
check.
really want to get
Let
it.
me check him on. I think on Podbean. Let me see if you can get a hold of him on.
Well, you can leave a comment with the episode, and then
No,
he can
but
Yeah.
play it.
on if you go to his page, you should be able to see his Instagram and stuff. Let me see if it's connected. Hold on.
I
No,
guess.
but mine is, like, on my page. Like, you can follow me, but Dan, you could also add that to your Podbean page,
I thought I did.
or on. Yeah, I don't see it on there, but you post it in the chat, and then you can also, I guess, follow Dane, uh,
If you
like your Twitter and all
if you
that.
put
You got to put all of
if
that
you go
stuff.
to
Yeah.
Google and you put in Dane Gentry, all of my
Mm-hmm.
stuff will pull up. Like I said earlier, don't pay attention to the Walter Dane Gentry stuff. That's the old guy. Don't worry about that. Just pay attention to the Dane Gentry stuff. It pulls up all my stuff anywhere you can find me. I think it does.
So, what's the best way you want people to message you? On Instagram,
No,
on
I don't
Discord,
really go on there too much. The best way probably email. My email really. Dane
email. So
Gentry.
maybe you should type it in the
Yeah,
chat so
I
people
got it in
can.
there. Dane
Yeah.
Gentry Podcast at
Yeah.
gmail.com or
Oh,
Discord.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not big on Instagram really. I send stuff to it.
You can also put that in your opening thing. So whenever anybody comes in, it pops up and does the little opening thing.
Right.
It's like, hey, if you want to contact me, it's this is how to contact me.
Okay. Yeah.
That way, it pops up every time somebody walks into your show.
Okay. Good idea. Yeah. Thanks. It's like the opening, the beginning of the opening. Yeah.
Yeah, I get what he's saying. Basically, your social medias or any way that they can contact you will be there each time or when they come visit this year when you're
Yeah.
live. Yeah,
If if you
Hmm.
yeah,
if you can't get a hold of me there and you do send anything to social media, I'll see it. It may just take me a little while longer to see it because, like I said, I don't hang out on there a lot. Um, but if you send something to this email or the Discord, I'll definitely see it because I stay on top of my email for sure.
Yeah, and as
yeah.
more that you do the
Okay.
lives, you can promote your email and just reiterate it um as you do your lives, and then people will get used to like getting a hold of you.
Yep.
Because basically, what I know what a lot of content creators do, I notice what a lot of YouTube content creators will do. They'll have all their socials there, would easily to get in contact if you need to
Yeah, I'm
get in
on YouTube
contact
too.
with such and such.
Um, I've got some
Yeah,
videos, and all of these go over there too. So, um, and
yeah.
come on Podbean and follow me and all
Yeah.
that stuff. But I'm on all platforms. You can find me on any podcast platform it is. I'm on all of them. Um,
Awesome, man.
I'll upload the
It's
show
been a
later and all
great
that
night.
stuff.
I
And
think I think I'm gonna go ahead and get me some shut eye. It's getting almost 10 o'clock this time
I
over
couldn't
here.
hear him, Bella. What did you
Yes,
say?
Dane,
What did you say,
thanks.
Bella?
Definitely.
He's
Thank you.
gonna
Thank
get he's gonna get some sleep.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for coming by, man. I
Yeah, I'm
appreciate it.
probably gonna get some sleep. Oh, you're
I'll
welcome,
see you
man.
next time,
Thank
my
you, man.
friend.
And I wish you all the best. I wish you the best in the future, man. Good
I do
night,
you as well,
GGRB, and
man.
I'll
Good
help
night.
you
Get some
tomorrow
good
with
sleep.
OBS.
All right,
God
Black
bless, man.
Dragon.
Stay
Good
safe.
meeting
All
you.
right. You too, Bella. All right.
Well, I think if everybody's cool, I think we might shut this thing down.
Right. Well, everybody have a good night.
Um, Thank you, Red Wolf. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate it from everybody, man. Everybody's been great to me from day one. Um, it is like a family on here, and I do appreciate it. It means a lot. Someone who's new for sure, because you're a little nervous and stuff and all that, and y'all make me feel real comfortable right at home. And that's huge to me. When you have a past like mine and you let it out there, you don't know how people are going to react. And I've been shown nothing but love and care, and it means so much to me. Each and every one of y'all. It's awesome.
Yes.
So I think we're going to shut this thing down. Again, you can contact me at danegentrypodcast, gmail.com, or on Discord, Dane0636, and I'll get to you as soon as I can. Thank you, Bella. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Robert.
No
And
worries.
everybody else who I'm forgetting. GGRB, thank you. Red Wolf, everyone
Yes.
who's been on here, I sure appreciate it. We'll be back for another live show on Monday. I'll do a recorded one probably over the weekend as well, so check that out also. Be looking for it. And I'll
Yep.
see everybody next time. God bless. Stay safe. And remember, whatever you're going through, give it to God. Just give it a chance. Just give it a chance, man. Give it to him. Just try it out. What do you got to lose? Try it out and just watch what he'll do for you.
And those of you who missed the show, don't forget Dane will upload this show and publish it under Dane Gentry. You can take a listen to it later all over again for whatever you missed.
Yeah, it was a good one. Y'all want to hear it? Tell all your friends about it. Thank y'all. Everybody have a good night. God bless. I love
Good
everybody, and
night.
I'll see y'all next time.
Take
All righty.
Good
See
night.
y'all. Goodbye.